When you hear the words rear-engined, air-cooled, and flat-six, chances are you're picturing a Porsche 911. But today, we're not talking about Porsche. Instead, we're diving into the story of a Chevrolet. Yes, a Chevrolet, the Corvair. The Corvair was originally designed as Chevrolet's answer to the wildly successful Volkswagen Beetle. It was meant to be a compact, affordable car, not a sports car. But in true American fashion, if something didn't exist, someone stepped in to make it happen. And for the Corvair, that someone was the legendary Don Yenko. You might recognize Don Yenko's name if you're a fan of Chevy muscle cars. He's the man who famously stuffed L88 Corvette engines into Camaros in the late 60s. But before he was creating straight-line monsters, Yenko had another project up his sleeve. The Corvair, a car once infamously described as unsafe at any speed, caught Yenko's attention. And with nearly double the factory horsepower and a host of performance upgrades, he transformed this modest economy car into a track weapon. His creation? The Yenko Stinger. This is the untold story of the 1966 to 1969 Yenko Stinger Corvair. Hey everyone, welcome to Rare Cars Revival. This is the channel where we dig deep into the past to uncover the most iconic, rare, and misunderstood cars in automotive history. If you enjoy short-form documentaries on legendary vehicles like the Bill Thomas Cheetah, the ZL1 Camaro, and many more, hit that subscribe button and join us. But now, back to the Corvair. Don Yenko wasn't just a skilled mechanic, he was a visionary. Including Jay Leno, compare him to Carroll Shelby. Both men were racers who opened their own shops to create high-performance cars. And Yenko had his sights set on the Shelby GT350, which was dominating SCCA racing in the 1960s. The GT350 might seem like an unusual rival for the Corvair, but Yenko had a plan. In 1965, the Chevy Camaro was still just a concept and wouldn't hit the market until 1966. Most other GM cars were either too big or required excessive modification to compete with Shelby Mustangs. The Corvair, however, was different. The second-generation Corvair, launched in 1965, was leaps and bounds ahead of its predecessor as a performance car. It featured four-wheel independent suspension, a rarity among American cars of the time. Weighing in at just 2,400 to 2,500 pounds, it was light and agile, with a rear-engine, rear-wheel drive layout reminiscent of a Porsche. Yenko realized that these characteristics made the Corvair the perfect candidate to take on the GT350 in SCCA racing. And with his trademark ingenuity, he set out to transform the Corvair into a competitive sports car. When choosing a base for his track weapon, Don Yenko selected the sportier Corvair Corsa. This wasn't just any Corvair. It was the top-tier version, equipped with a 164 cubic inch flat-six engine producing 140 horsepower in its naturally aspirated form. The base model featured 4 single-barrel carburetors, but GM also offered a turbocharged version making 180 horsepower. However, Yenko opted to build his Stingers using the naturally aspirated engines, favoring their reliability and tunability. To compete in the SCCA Class D production racing series, Yenko needed to homologate the car. This required producing at least 100 units of the Yenko Stinger, which meant transforming the Corvair Corsa into a legitimate sports car. The first step? Ripping out the back seats. SCCA rules dictated that eligible sports cars had no rear seating. From there, the team got to work enhancing the Corsa's stock independent suspension, which was already ahead of its time for an American car. To handle the rigors of track duty, Yenko equipped the car with upgraded springs and shocks at all 4 corners, reducing body roll and improving composure during high-speed cornering. Track performance demanded better braking, so Yenko turned to GM's parts bin. A Cadillac-sourced master cylinder was installed, improving the car's braking power and reliability. Every Yenko Stinger also featured a posi-traction rear differential, ensuring better traction during spirited driving and racing. But it was under the hood where things got truly exciting. Yenko retained the stock 164 cubic inch flat-six engine as the base for all Stinger models. And just like modern performance cars with tiered trims, the Stinger lineup came in 4 stages, each representing an increase in performance. The Stage 1 Yenko Stinger was the entry-level model. This included all the suspension upgrades, the posi-traction rear end, and a retuned version of the flat-six engine producing 160 horsepower, a 20 horsepower bump over stock. The increase came from a combination of carburetor tuning and some light internal engine modifications. The Stage 1 Stinger was priced at $3,450, making it a relatively affordable entry into racing. The Stage 2 Stinger upped the ante with significant internal upgrades to the engine. These modifications included a new camshaft, high-compression pistons, reinforced valve springs, and a polished crankshaft. The compression ratio was increased to 10:1, pushing output to an impressive 190 horsepower. With these upgrades, the Stage 2 Stinger became a serious contender on the track, offering a dramatic improvement in performance over the base model. Yenko's approach wasn't just about speed, it was about creating a well-balanced car. The combination of lightweight construction, rear engine layout, and fine-tuned suspension gave the Stinger precise handling characteristics. It was a car built to take on legends like the Shelby GT350, and it had the engineering to back up its ambitions. But the Stinger story didn't stop at Stage 2. Stay tuned as we delve into the higher performance stages and uncover how Yenko pushed the limits of what the Corvair platform could achieve. The Stage 2 Yenko Stinger wasn't the end of the upgrades. Stage 3 Stingers took performance to the next level with significant engine modifications. These included higher compression, ported heads, and forged 40-over pistons. The result? A robust 220 horsepower from the flat-six engine. The Stage 3 had an MSRP of $4,350, reflecting its serious capabilities. But for those looking for an all-out track monster, Yenko offered the Stage 4 Stinger, a purpose-built race car. These cars were stripped down to shed weight and featured further engine enhancements, producing around 240 horsepower. The Stage 4 Stinger wasn't street-focused. It was designed to dominate on the track, with an MSRP of $5,000. Rumors also speak of a Stage 5 Stinger, potentially equipped with a larger engine and a fuel injection system producing 250 horsepower. However, documentation is scarce, with only passing mentions on enthusiast forums like Corvair-specific sites. Visually, every Yenko Stinger stood out. They all came in ermine white with blue racing stripes, a color scheme that paid homage to their performance roots. A custom rear spoiler and adjustable rear vents added both functionality and style, improving airflow to the air-cooled engine. Yenko's attention to detail extended to every aspect, from performance to aesthetics. In competition, the Yenko Stinger left its mark. According to the RSC database, Stingers competed in 22 races, securing 3 first-place finishes and 2 third-place finishes. While not dominating the series, these results prove the Corvair platform's potential in skilled hands. However, the Stinger's run was short-lived. With the introduction of the Chevy Camaro in 1967, General Motors shifted its focus to the burgeoning muscle car market. The Camaro, designed to compete directly with the Mustang, became GM's new performance darling. This shift left little room for the unconventional, rear-engine Corvair in Chevrolet's lineup. By the late 1960s, Corvair sales were plummeting. The car's production ended in 1969, marking the end of the line for both the Corvair and the Yenko Stinger. In total, just over 100 Yenko Stingers were produced, with a few dozen customer cars receiving Stinger performance packages. Looking back, one can't help but wonder, what if Chevrolet and Yenko had continued developing the Corvair Stinger? Could it have evolved into a long-running American sports car, perhaps even rivaling the Porsche 911, which continues to thrive with its rear-engine, flat-six configuration? Sadly, we'll never know. The Corvair Stinger remains a fascinating chapter in automotive history, a testament to ingenuity and a bold experiment in American car design. If you enjoyed this journey into the history of the Yenko Stinger, please like and share this video with fellow car enthusiasts. Don't forget to subscribe to the Rare Cars Revival YouTube channel and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the world's most intriguing and rare vehicles. Until next time, enthusiasts, keep exploring the stories behind the cars that shaped the world of motoring.